All right, well, as we bid adieu to Bogsy and Oskons, here we go with game one of KSC versus Bonks. The winner of this gets the ultimate reward of fighting '07 for first place. The loser gets to continue in the loser bracket to attempt to fight it back into third. So here we go. We've got Dual Kremlins, Dual Moskva, Salem, Harugumo, Vampire Deuce, Marceau, and Daring. What do we got for Bonks, Mr. Sea Raptor?
Well, Bonks has fielded Montana Kremlin, Salem Zath, a Napoli. Now, I like Napoli, but I don't think we've seen one in the entire event. But there's one here on day 6, also a Moskva. Rounding things out, Daring, Marceau, Harugumo, and a Ragnar.
Yes, it also never mind. Sorry.
You're good. I was going to point out this is the third place match, right?
Right.
So basically whoever wins this match gets to go up, and it could be a rematch of Bonks, we don't know, or KSC might get the chance, but they're going to go back and fight '07 one more time to find out who is the first and second place team. The loser of this match is automatically the third place team and we'll
Right.
see as such in the international bracket in 2 weeks.
Sorry, guys, I thought we had a whole nother set of games coming. That's how much I love King of the Sea. I just wanted more. So apologies for that.
You're a madman, Zath.
Hey, you know what? I'm all about watching battles unfold and seeing who are victims of the almighty Sarlacc. So
Now, I want you to have a look over at A, Zath, because I think we're going to have a little bit of early drama here as we may have a bit of a clash of Marceaus. But the difference is that KSC's Marceau, that's Hatake, he's got a friend nearby. Addy is all by himself. So
yeah,
this could turn very ugly for Bonks very quickly, depending on how many shots they trade and how many shots they get in here. There they are, both lit now.
Spider-Man meme, go.
Indeed. You. Only one. Yeah, it's only going to be one of the Harugumo salvos is going to get in there. And you can
Didn't even
see the
make it.
blue. You can see the blue tracers coming off of Addy. He is running the fancy French captain Philippe Abonnieu. So keep that in
Makes
mind as
perfect
well.
sense.
Indeed.
For those that don't know or I can't think of off the top of the head, Evan Yu has a bonus to Adrenaline Rush, correct?
I believe that is correct. The AR is a little more powerful for him.
That's right.
There they are. The Marceaus are lit again over at A for a moment, but both of them declining to fire. I find that interesting. Dastert not making any such complaints though, as his shell's coming in astern of Addy.
Yep. Now we're looking at Hiyoshi.
Now Hatake is gonna squeeze through. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that!
Hold on to your butt.
Woo!
Meanwhile, at B cap, we see a fight starting to unfold here. I don't know that Shadow just barely has radar range on Vivi's Ragnar. So
right now he's not using it.
No, I think there he goes.
There
I
it
think he
is.
was waiting
There
to
it
move
is.
a little bit farther forward so he can get his guns in, but the island is preventing his guns from actually shooting. But Floops is like, I got you, fam.
Now what about the Mossman? I hear that's Testered as Floops is outside that radar range.
And take a look at this, Raptor. We've got a Salem and a Napoli that are fixing to go up that fidget spinner island up the 10 line.
I gotta say, Zath, I really like the Napoli pick. If they're gonna deploy it over on this flank as like a way to break this flank open, maybe push that Salem out of position, I really like it. Now it's gonna be interesting. They're gonna have to find a way, if that's gonna work, if that's the intent, they're gonna have to find a way to bait Coop's radar out in order for this Napoli smoke to allow him to get in close and assassinate the Salem. But it'll be fun to watch either way.
But remember, it's a short range, short duration T-Rex radar that the Salem has. So
it's not that short a duration, but it is short range. It's the regular duration. It could be as long as almost 60 seconds. Yeah, it can be almost as long as 60 seconds. It's just a shorter range.
Well, either way, rar indeed.
Indeed. He will be roaring with the little T-Rex radar later on. But for now, A does go towards KSC. Hatake doubling back, picking that up for his team. B uncontested. C uncontested. The Darings were trading shots. That's Dyer and Aussie trading shots across C. Aussie coming off a little worse in that exchange, but no one owns that cap quite yet.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that now that KSC has A, the question is, do you push farther south to secure it, or do you head to B? And Hatake Hiyoshi's like, you know what? I'm going to go help
I
my
was
team at B.
I was gonna say the answer seems to be for Hatake. Let's go to B.
Hmm. Serpent Lord is reversing with a Harugumo.
Yeah,
Addy firing off some torpedoes.
he knows Addy's down there, and Serpent Lord should outspot the Marceau. He does. Right there, Serpent Lord picking up Addy, Addy turning away. So there doesn't know where Serpent is, but just knows he's in the vicinity. Just trying to keep Addy pushed away from the cap in general to allow him to continue to tick up those points. So
Yep, and
he's not
Serpent not
without,
firing, by the way.
yeah, without radar, his presence there in that detection bubble can just be like, nope, you probably don't want to be here because you'll get spotted and somebody might shoot at you.
Curious to see the Kremlin Dastard going behind this island. I mean, usually you see a Des Moines or something there, but Dastard's there instead.
Well, we saw them do this on Hotspot earlier, right? They gave Dastard a Kerr first and drove him into the decap on Hotspot. That worked out. Here he has a Kremlin and he's coming in, so I don't know. Will it work? Well, I guess we'll find out. It's working so far. KSC out to about a 100-point lead here as we're only, what is that, about 6.5 minutes in? So plenty of time for, 100-point lead is not insurmountable. That's basically a ship kill. So plenty of time for BONKS to try to find to do something. And here they are making a double play here, getting onto B and C almost simultaneously.
Yes, and BONKS is also getting ready for their push up the 10 line. It's almost like they're towing a start position here, and they're just waiting for that gun to fire off to tell them to go.
Zach, one of the things that I think we don't talk about enough, or you don't see enough, maybe in King of the Sea, is the idea of overwhelming your opponent with multiple pushes and multiple angles of attack. Well, multiple angles of attack is a very common thing, but I mean, like,
Sure.
we did, the game we covered yesterday with 07 on Land of Fire, it felt like they pushed A kind of as a counter push when we had so much focus. Sorry, they counter pushed at C. We had so much focus at A. It sometimes I wonder if there's value in potentially overloading a team by pushing them in multiple places at the same time. And we're starting to see now the BONKS push kind of coming up the 10 line led by the Napoli. In fact, I think, go ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. And then we see there's the Salems, now both of them running their radars, so Baconated detected. But you're absolutely right, and that goes back to what I was talking about earlier. When in doubt, all push.
You know what this is, Zaf? They're going to use the Napoli smoke. Napoli's in the lead. They're going to use the Napoli smoke to try to get them both in.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. I see it now. Clever.
Yep, clever girl. And remember that the Napoli has SAP secondaries, SAP secondaries.
Indeed. Dyer does pick up C on behalf of BONKS. BONKS now starting to take up points of their own, down about 150 points here early. But I still think this 10-line push is going to be interesting. Baconated taking some Moskva shells on the broadside there. No, doesn't look like a massive hit, but a solid one.
And you can see Co-op is just ready, or Coop is just ready.
Yeah, he pretty much has to be.
The problem is now they're proxy spotting each other. Baconated saying, maybe I shouldn't broadside to Salem.
They're in this position, but now what?
Right.
KSC seems ready to receive this.
Exactly. Slowing down does allow for Aussie Zeus for them to dodge Aussie's torpedoes. The big thing, though, and now they're horning each other. The big thing is, I'd like to see Drixus's Kremlin in a position to threaten Coop's position. That's not happening right now, and it really needs to happen for Baconated and Doofy to be able to push through here.
Yeah, they're going to need that. It is coming. Drix is pushing, right? Drix is coming up the 9 line. It feels like the cruiser position there is designed to be like, okay, you've got this cover, hold here while Drix comes and seals the deal, and maybe we're going to see a coordinated push. Maybe they'll all move up around this island and assassinate Coop at the same time.
Man with the RX-7 just got whacked by F-22 Raptor Montana at 25.5 clicks.
Ooh, Addy not coming off well in an exchange at B. They had moved Floops and Hatake down, and Addy in trouble now. 4K and falling.
Conga Line Torps coming in on Tester. Took a couple.
Serpent Lord. I realize now that KSC has pushed through A. BONKS has
Mhm.
pulled everything back to the south side of the B cap, which they still don't own. Addy finally going dark, but so many shells falling in there, he might still go out.
That's right. Meanwhile, look back at that island on the 10 line.
Yep, here
There's
we
Drix just
go.
coming around the corner.
Yep, Drix is coming. Coop putting Coop putting his radar up again.
I'm just gonna put a preemptive death pick in chat right now.
Baconated turning his engines on, moving up. Is he just holding Coop in position here, keeping him honest, perhaps?
Maybe. And Doofy realizing he doesn't want to come in on this.
Oh, the Kremlin beats the Salem up right through the stern.
Yeah, those weren't Citadels. They were just full pens.
No, they weren't. Just full pens. Do you think Drix is going to go for the ram here and just get Danny off the board to allow this push to occur? I think that's what's going to happen.
He wants the kill and he wants the ram. He's going to try to time this so that he can fire and then ram. Yep. That's the hero. That's the hero move right now. That's the hero play.
And here comes Baconated.
Here it is.
Here comes the Kremlin shell. Oh my goodness! Just assassinated. Now he goes in for the ram on Danny. So well executed by BONKS, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
So well executed. They're going to kill 3 ships out. They're going to get 3 kills out of this. Look at this.
That's
wow. Right. What a play. What a great play by Drix.
Absolutely.
It does flip the lead. BONKS with their kills allows them to move out to a lead here, despite the early cap control going for KSC.
Yep, it is interesting that Addy was able to survive. That may come to haunt KSC in the future. We shall see.
It might. At the same time, Addy's not really out of there, right? Like a single radar, a single hydro, they can pick that kill up. Addy needs to put on the gas and just go be somewhere else. Go play on like G8 and just chill out down there.
Are you telling me he values his life?
He should, because those are points you don't want to gift wrap for the enemy team right now.
Nagato barely dodging torpedoes in the smoke. Smoke, such a torpedo magnet, so you saw him putting himself in the extreme edge. Good positioning there.
More conga line torps coming in for Tester. Now, Zath, KSC is not out of this game. They're down 2 ships, but they're not. The points are close enough that they can still make this an interesting game, or at least with a single kill, they can be back into this. What do you think their game plan is as we get 7 minutes down to the 7-minute mark?
Well, they got to put Shadow a little bit farther forward, I think, so that he can control the B area with his presence. They have to not lose Floops right now, which is that's going to be a tall order.
It's going to be a tall order because you've got the Daring and the Ragnar right there to wipe him out.
Yep, and that goes back to Shadow's positioning. I think he's too far back. He's not able to exert his dominance. Yep. And as a result, Floops is going to go down. There it is.
Yep.
The big thing is that KSC got smashed over in C, and you can look at the mini-map. You can almost draw a straight line.
Yeah,
straight line through BONKS' position. And that's beautiful. What I mean. Like, KSC hasn't had a chance to reform their ranks yet, and that's huge.
Well, they do have a bit of a line going across the map, that section of the board. The problem is they're way upside down on health and ships. And so if they had even a couple of more ships to help bolster that line, maybe pick up a kill, okay. But they don't. They don't have it. And without that, it's going to be tough.
That's right.
Shells crisscrossing every which way here right now.
Yeah, there's going to be a momentary pause as both teams try to reposition. You can see Shadow now repositioning to the other side of the island. Okay, so he's doing that so that he can keep his left flank safe. I always talk about this in replays about using islands as your shield.
Yep.
And that's what he's doing right there. He's holding up that island as a shield to his left.
Yep, he realized that the Napoli and the Salem were going to be free to close on him from that direction. So he repositioned to keep his bow pointed in the middle of the board and put that island in between them and those threats.
Look at Dastard.
Yeah. Dastard seems to be committed to pushing Tester right out of this position.
Yeah, too bad all those shells bounced.
Did they really?
Yes, they did, and now he's going to go broadside to Raptor.
He's going for the ram. He's going for the ram right here.
Oh, I don't know if
That
I like that play.
I feel like that's a concession that KSC realizes this match is over.
I mean, yeah. I can't think of any other reason you'd ram
I
if
mean,
you're the
when you're
Kremlin.
down, yeah, when you're down ships, you don't take rams. That's just not a thing unless, I mean,
Right.
maybe in rare instances, but certainly not when your surviving ships are a heavy cruiser and 3 destroyers.
True. I don't know. I mean, I still feel like you just never know. He could have brought it back if he had his guns pointed left. He just went straight past the Moskva and blapped him in the side as he charged Raptors Montana. But
There's enough shells going in on Dyer. They may yet get him. The Marceau and the
right.
Harugumo just vomiting shells over there on poor Dyer, who is
Yep.
lit.
And
I see the Moskva radar is up. Yep.
yep. And they're detected and they just don't care.
No, they just what at this point caring doesn't matter. They got to get a kill, which they do.
Mm-hmm.
That narrows it back down. It's only a 40-point lead for Bonks, but I mean the ships, the health. I don't see a way for KSC to get back into this set.
It's gonna require just a couple of huge misplays from Bonks, and they don't usually misplay.
Man,
So
based on the coordination we saw earlier on that C line push, misplays are not something you're likely to see out of this team. They do beat up Vivi's Ragnar a bit, but he retreats back behind Island, gets some cover as Hitake and Serpent Lord kind of hang out over here on the edge of the beat cap. But Shadow Wolfish is going out. It's only a matter of
oh
time.
yeah.
They're just going to farm him out.
Yep.
Serpent and Hayoshi now radared by Doofy. So they're like, well, to hell with it. Let's just drop shells on him. But Serpent Lord goes down.
Yoshi does have the benefit of the smoke at least.
He does. The moment Doofy is proxy spotted through the island, so Hitake can just sit there and just mercilessly shell him because he at least has a little bit of smoke. But now that's
Ragnar.
Vivi coming around the bottom end of the island to spot, and now Hitake doesn't get that for free anymore.
No. So he'll be down momentarily.
Yep.
Baconated chasing down the Daring. Look at that.
Yep. It's not exactly something Napoli's very good at. Kind of all over but the crying here. KSC down to their final 2 ships. One in A3, one in D4. And Shadow, I think now I'm going to move out, maybe trying for the ram here just to see if he can get a little bit of an honorable kill on his way out the door, maybe.
Very honorable.
Doofy's not gonna grant him that.
No.
And then there was Aussie. So game 1, gonna go to Bonks here. A hard fought game. I liked KSC's position early on, but that's that coordinated 9-10 line push. The Kremlin, the Napoli, the Salem Zath, absolutely backbreaking. Absolutely backbreaking.
Absolutely. The key was the inability to really react to that Kremlin plus those 2 cruisers pushing up out at east. That was absolutely brilliant play on Bonks' part.
Yep. You know, it's funny to me, Zath, you know, we talk about Des Moines. We see a lot of Des Moines and Salem and King of the Sea. And one of the things that those ships are almost always vulnerable to is rushes, whether it's not necessarily a gun cruiser rush, because they're gun cruisers. They do that. They fight gun cruisers pretty well. But like a torpedo rush, I sometimes wonder if some of these ships that they want to, you want to put in a position like that, you give up the reload, but man, if you take some torpedoes, you really do kind of dissuade some of that. You take a cruiser that has torpedoes. I mean, you kind of dissuade some of that. The idea of, I'm going to get up in this guy's face and push him off the board, because he might just end up being a trade, and that's not necessarily a great thing depending on the situation.
Look at the Bonks players playing grab ass down over here, and Nagato just shooting each other because what else are we gonna do? They're dropping depth charges.
Team damage is off, man. They don't care.
Doofy shooting at Baconated. I mean, it's just, they're having fun.
At this point, you have to wonder, like, Aussie is still running, and you almost have to wonder why, right? Like, the game's over.
Yeah. Right. Why drag it out for everybody here?
Yeah.
he's going to the next battle, as we always like to say
That's
when
right.
players move to the A1 corner.
He's trying to sail onto the map for the next battle, preserve all his HP, but there's the game.
He wants to say, "I lived." That's all.
Right. That's right. BONKS claims game 1 there. So well done to them. That's a really solid win. And Zath, I can't gush about that coordinated push up the 9-10 line enough. One of the things that I love about watching King of the Sea, right, is you see that kind of team coordination. You likened it to putting runners on the starting line, pawing at the starting blocks. And we saw that, right? The cruisers moved up into position. They got coordinated. They waited. They made the jump to the next island. And then they waited for the Kremlin to get into position. And then they all moved up together. And it was just, it's a thing of beauty to watch that kind of coordinated play.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I really enjoyed watching that game. Hats off to both teams, but BONKS just coming in with that cleaner strategy that pulled it off.
Indeed, BONKS looks really solid today. Bogsy Ensconce, what say you about game 1?
Well, I say that's why you bring a Kremlin right there. Ladies and gentlemen watching at home, if you are wondering, why would anybody bring a Kremlin? It doesn't shoot very accurately at long range. Right. But you can walk forward. You can walk forward through like a hail of arrows and laser beams and whatever happens to be there. And you can say, that's cute. Give me your Salem. And that's exactly what happened. So interesting to see that, like, we were watching that Salem and that Napoli going, when are they going to hit the gas and go? And I think I felt like even BONKS figured out we can't really turn the corner in front of a Salem and a Kremlin. Like that's just too much. Maybe the Napoli, which does have that turtleback armor, maybe the Napoli could pull out in front of a Salem, take enough of the fire, like resist enough of the fire, get the torps off, and put one Citadel, volley into the Salem. Maybe he'd get it. We just don't know, do we? Definitely not while there's a Kremlin from KSC sitting there as well. So then just went, why don't we just throw our Kremlin at their Kremlin and kill the Salem on the way?
Seems like it worked out okay.
When I saw that, I mean, I realized maybe not everybody's seen Terminator 2, but in the real beginning of that movie, John Connor's running away, he's going into some storm drain or whatever on his bike, and he's like, oh, good, I'm safe. I feel okay now. He turns back and he sees a semi-truck ram through a bridge.
Yeah.
And it felt like that Kremlin was just like, wait, no, we gotta stop this guy. Nope, can't stop this.
The Kremlinator. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. Oh man, it was
1000.
That's right.
Well, he got bonkinated.
Yeah, we're gonna have plenty to say about this match as soon as the replay is up. I think we'll have it shortly. Not quite in yet, but gentlemen, was there any moment during that match that really stuck out to you besides the Kremlin rush? Because we're gonna get to that.
Just, I gotta say, the ram on the Moskva at the end there, or towards the end there, kind of signaling the falling action of the battle. In my opinion, I think, I mean, I could certainly get the feeling, well, this is it, so let's just go out in a blaze of glory. But honestly, I kind of felt like at that point, you still play for the attempt to win. You just never know. So,
I suspect that he was hoping. I suspect that he was hoping for a deb strike through the ass of that Moskva. It didn't materialize. He knows that F-22's Montana is literally right there to finish him, and just sort of went, well, might as well take a boat off the board if I'm gonna die. But I sympathized with your sentiment on that one, because it was sort of like,
I think when he bounced the 6 shells, he was like, well, guess I'm done.
Yeah, yes, my game's over.
Desperate luck finally ran out, I guess. Gentlemen, I'm being told that the replay is ready, so we're going to say thank you. We'll see you for game 2, and we're going to go take a look at that replay.
All right.
Great.
And here we go. So something to note right out of the gate is that KSC does actually make a very, very good push at the A-cap. They realized that Addy was all by himself there. In his Marceau all by lonesome, so they actually take it, they push the Marceau away, then they rotate their own Marceau back to the center to try and take B, and they have Dastard's Kremlin come up and push, and they actually get quite a bit going on.
Yeah, I think I had to wonder, why did Addy just bail? And I think it's actually because of the second set of shells. Yeah, the Marceaus traded a few blows, but the Haraguma, which was not spotted, was able to throw 1, maybe 2 salvos, and that's when we knew, this is a 2 against 1. I'm not doing this. And they just bail on the A cap, which made sense. It was a good play, but it meant that it gave the lead to KSC. They started to get those points rolling. And we're going to see here, Bravo is just a whole bunch of staring. There's nothing really happening there. There's no movement. There's just a little bit of health chipping and trading and stuff. And I think we're about to see the Titanic clash at Charlie.
Yeah. So what KSC was 100% relying on was that daring being able to land his torps on the Kremlin, and they just missed. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the daring thought he should be pencil torping the Salem instead, but that allows the Kremlin to literally just like it sort of reminded me of when like you see in football when you see the kickoff is made, somebody gets it, and then they run the entire length of the field and score a touchdown. It's like the Kremlin just went, I'm hitting W and I ain't stopping. And nothing you can put in my way is going to stop me. That's the power of a Kremlin, folks. The only thing that's really going to stop it, if it's determined to cross an open stretch of water like that, is a big old volley of torpedoes or another battleship in its flank just chunking it. Because the Citadel is actually exposed above the water and is able to take a lot of damage from something with heavy gun caliber shells like another battleship. But even a Stalingrad at medium range can find that Citadel, but it's just so well armored that you absolutely have to have something capable of stopping a Kremlin rush, and there it is right there.
You know, I have to say, though, I was noticing this in between. So, okay, Kremlin's charging forward, takes the first pot shot of the Salem, takes him down to half. His guns are fully turned toward the Salem, and the KSC Kremlin, recognizing the Ram, starts backing up. I don't think he could have backed up. He could have just gone forward. One, if he takes the Ram sooner, great. Maybe he saves the Salem. But two, those turrets were not turned toward him. If he was able to come out and just force, hey, bro, if you're going to charge me, I'm going to rip into your broadside.
Right.
A Kremlin could just deb strike another Kremlin off the board. That forces turret movement or some kind of evasive action, at least bumps up the timetable. And that was not something that got done.
Yeah. I mean, because if the daring torps are not going to land, you have to get that thing off. You know you're going to get rammed. You can't Kremlin versus Kremlin bow one. It's just going to end in a ram. So yeah, the correct answer might have been, okay, the die's been cast. We have to get their Kremlin off the board as quickly as possible so that he cannot come in and wipe out our Salem. Who, credit to that Salem. I think it was I Am Coop who literally by himself, by being there, prevented an enemy Salem and an enemy Napoli from being able to do really anything. That's fair enough to say, but really, really good job on KSC's part pushing around the A line and starting to wrap up Bonks' west side. But Bonks obviously made the YOLO play. They made the hero play, and it paid off in spades. So it does look like we are going to be moving on. They're ready. They're ready to go. So let's really quickly talk about Northern Waters, please.
Okay, so over at Alpha, KSC does like to get a cruiser. Well, really, everybody likes to get a cruiser on that island left of A. So let's look for some kind of smoke training. Could be a DD, could be a Napoli. We saw it already, so it's potential they might start to innovate off that, but I think it might be a little late notice if they haven't done it already. Charlie, a lot of islands there. If you're going to commit to it, you got to commit hard. And are you going to offer up a cruiser to the B gods or no? Because typically, we're going to see two destroyers doing their little butt wiggle dance over at Bravo. Somebody's got Hydro, somebody's got Radar. Oh, and they run out. Realistically, if you park a Moskva on that island, you're just going to be putting your foot down and saying, nah, we're not playing around. We're going to hold this. That's what it is.
Absolutely. The real question will be, are we going to see another Ragnar Wolfpack from either team beating up at something on B? They absolutely like to be playing around that center line where they can start shelling anything. It's so easy for them to sit in the middle with up to 15-kilometer range and start just putting damage onto whomever they can. They're quick, they're mobile, and without Venezia Nevsky, there are very few things that are actually able to deter them with either radar or those big, heavy sap broadsides. So, like you said, we are going to have to see if KSC plays A heavy like they have been in previous matchups. We'll have to see if Bonks makes another wide push. But it looks like they're ready, so we're going to go ahead and throw it to C-Raptor and Zath in Game 2.